Have you ever felt torn between what others expect of you and what you know is right? It's a struggle as old as time. The desire to please people while also wanting to honor God. But here's the truth. You can't please everyone. It's an impossible task. Imagine trying to juggle flaming torches while riding a unicycle on a tightrope. That's what it feels like to chase after the ever-changing expectations of others. You're constantly twisting yourself into knots, trying to fit in and gain approval. But the harder you try, the more exhausted and empty you become. The truth is, seeking validation from people is like building your house on shifting sand. It's unstable and unreliable. One minute you're riding high on praise, the next you're crushed by criticism. The only approval that truly matters is God's. Once upon a time, there was a kind man who wanted to bring joy to his village. He noticed how much people loved rainbows, so he dedicated his life to creating them. He studied light refraction, experimented with prisms, and even climbed mountains to get closer to the sky. His rainbows were spectacular, more vibrant than any the villagers had ever seen. People came from miles around to witness them, but the man wasn't satisfied. He wanted everyone to be happy all the time. So he chased after every cloud, every ray of sunshine, desperate to manufacture rainbows on demand. He neglected his family, his health, even his own happiness, all in pursuit of pleasing others. In the end, the man realized his mistake. He had become so focused on external validation that he had lost sight of what truly mattered, living a life of purpose and meaning. The Bible is filled with examples of people who faced this very struggle. Take Noah, for instance. He was mocked and ridiculed for building an ark, but he remained obedient to God's call. Or consider Daniel, who was thrown into a den of lions for praying to God. He could have easily conformed to the king's demands, but he chose to stay true to his faith, even in the face of danger. The Apostle Paul reminds us in 1 Thessalonians chapter 2, verse 4, "Our purpose is to please God, not people. He alone examines the motives of our hearts." This verse is a powerful reminder that our primary allegiance is to God, not to the fleeting opinions of others. In Galatians chapter 1, verse 10, Paul further emphasizes this point. Am I now trying to win the approval of human beings or of God? Or am I trying to please people? If I were still trying to please people, I would not be a servant of Christ. These words serve as a challenge and an encouragement to us all. The world whispers, conform, fit in, don't rock the boat. It tempts us with the promise of acceptance, popularity, and success. But God's voice, though sometimes quieter, speaks of something far greater, a life of purpose, meaning, and eternal significance. Imagine you're standing at a crossroads. One path is wide and well-traveled, filled with people who prioritize popularity and worldly success. The other path is narrow and less crowded, marked by faith, integrity, and a desire to please God above all else. The choice is yours. Will you follow the crowd, even if it means compromising your values? Or will you choose the path less traveled, knowing that God's approval is worth more than any earthly treasure? Standing firm when opinions clash. Living for God doesn't mean we become disagreeable or confrontational. It means we stand firm in our convictions, even when they clash with the opinions of others. It means speaking the truth in love, even when it's unpopular. And it means extending grace to those who disagree with us, remembering that we are all on a journey. Think of Queen Esther, who risked her life to save her people, or Joseph, who remained faithful to God despite being betrayed and sold into slavery. These biblical heroes teach us that true courage is not the absence of fear, but the willingness to do what is right, regardless of the consequences. Their stories remind us that our actions have consequences. When we choose to please people over God, we not only disobey Him, but we also miss out on the blessings He has in store for us. The price of conformity, the reward of faithfulness. The price of conformity is high. It robs us of our joy, our peace, and our sense of purpose. It leads to a life of emptiness and regret. But the reward of faithfulness is immeasurable. When we choose to please God, we experience His peace, His joy, and His abundant blessings. Remember Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego? They refused to bow down to the king's golden statue even when threatened with a fiery furnace. Their unwavering faith not only saved their lives, but also testified to God's power and glory. Their story reminds us that God honors those who honor Him. When we stand firm in our faith, even in the face of adversity, we can be confident that He is with us, fighting our battles and working all things together for our good. Finding strength in God's embrace. When the world seems overwhelming and the pressure to conform feels suffocating, remember that you are not alone. God is with you always, ready to strengthen and uphold you. He promises in Joshua chapter 1 verse 9, "Be strong and courageous. Do not be afraid. Do not be discouraged, for the Lord your God will be with you wherever you go." Just as a shepherd gently guides his sheep, so too does God guide us with His love and wisdom. He provides us with everything we need to live a life that honors Him. His word is a lamp to our feet and a light to our path, illuminating the way forward. When we face difficult choices, we can turn to Him in prayer, seeking His guidance and wisdom. He promises to answer our prayers and to give us the strength to do His will. Living a life of purpose. Living to please God isn't about following a set of rules or trying to earn His favor. It's about surrendering our lives to Him and allowing His love to transform us from the inside out. It's about discovering our unique purpose in His grand plan and using our gifts and talents to make a difference in the world. Think of Mother Teresa, who dedicated her life to serving the poorest of the poor, or Martin Luther King Jr., who fought tirelessly for racial equality. These individuals weren't driven by a desire for fame or fortune, but by a deep conviction to live out their faith in tangible ways. They understood that true fulfillment comes not from chasing after worldly success, but from aligning our lives with God's will. When we live for Him, we experience a joy and satisfaction that the world can never offer. Your life, God's glory. So, dear reader, I encourage you to live a life that is pleasing to God, not to people. Let His word be your guide, His love your motivation, and His glory your ultimate goal. The world may try to squeeze you into its mold, but remember who you are, a child of God, created with a purpose and destined for greatness. Go forth and live a life that reflects His love, His grace, and His truth. And as you do, you will discover the incredible joy and fulfillment that come from living in the center of His will. Your life is a gift, a masterpiece in the making. Make it a testament to the one who created you, the one who loves you most. Live for His applause, and you will never be disappointed. Do not forget to subscribe, share, and like it. Blessings.